So when it was announced that Dean Ambrose had finally returned, showed up, and basically was going to be at Seth Rollins' corner at SummerSlam, I was like thinking to myself, okay, I really want to see Ambrose Rollins tag team together against Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, more so because Tyson Kidd would be producing this match, and Ambrose has shown definite improvement and varied changes to his ring style. So, when it was announced that Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler winning the Raw Tag Team titles, at the expense of the Revival, unfortunately, was going to take on Ambrose and Rollins at Hell in a Cell, I was ecstatic. I honestly had hoped that this would be a tag team Hell in a Cell match, because we haven't had that in years. And considering it was being produced by Tyson Kidd, that made me all the more hopeful for this match to be of high quality, to be released about 15 or so minutes, and yet you get a compelling story and you get high quality performances from these guys. What we got exceeded those expectations up to 22 minutes. Well, it goes ahead and basically makes me want to see more Drew McIntyre be badass, and they didn't go with the obvious predictable route, with everyone fearing that at the end of the night, all three members of the Shield were going to walk out as champions. As in, Rollins already having the Intercontinental title, Reigns having the Universal title, and Ambrose having the Tag Team title. They would have all the Raw the Raw titles. It would be only a matter of time until they go after SmackDown. We all know how that would have ended up. So, yeah. What I did like is how, and this is not dissing Joe Onoya, I can't pronounce his last name of his family, but when Roman Reigns came down with leukemia, I don't want to discredit that issue that happened, but I will say that Rollins and Ambrose being put together was simply because, oh wait, we can't have Roman Reigns get booed, so we gotta shove the Shield in. So the Shield basically was reformed to basically be Roman Reigns' heat protection squad. That was the most frustrating part about it. The fact that you build up these characters, you go ahead and you get Monday Night Rollins, and then you get this new Dean Ambrose look and this badass look of his, and you ultimately turn them into Roman Reigns' stooges to basically try and make sure he's protected from getting hated. Sadly, that backfired in the worst way possible. It completely damaged Rollins' momentum he was having, and Ambrose's return momentum was completely frozen because now, like, he's just a lackey. And that was the problem with the Shield reunion this time around. At least in the other Shield reunion, it felt like there was a unifying reason and there was a motive. But this case, they might as well have just turned heel. Like, really think about it. Roman Reigns is using the Shield to protect his title reign. In storyline context, Braun Strowman formed an alliance with McIntyre and Ziggler because the Shield had cost him his Universal title opportunity. So really, why did this happen, and why on earth should I care about Roman and the Shield when they did that? In fact, I should have been booing them, which you might as well, but no, they're saying, no, you gotta cheer for them, even though they did something that was a heel thing to do, and Strowman had publicly said that, yeah, I will cash it right in their faces. I would cash in my contract right in front of them without any hesitation whatsoever. He gave them the heads up. So, yeah, and once again, Strowman has legitimate reasoning, but as we know, Vince hates logic. Because logic is evil for some reason. So with all these problems to go with, it was hard to really get highly invested in this match. They would have to pull out all the stops and try to tell a separate yet similar continuity with the Shield storyline. So ultimately, we would get that match. There was no interference from Strowman or Roman, so that helped. And what we got was a very intense, very gripping 22-minute match between Ambrose and Rollins against Dolph Ziggler and McIntyre for the Raw Tag Team titles, and everything about it was just great. If this really should have been Hell in a Cell. This really should have been inside Hell in a Cell. I would have loved it if it was in that structure, because we haven't had that in years. I think the last time we saw it was, if I'm hesitant to say, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. against D-Generation X. I think that was the last time we ever saw it. But other than that, no, there hasn't been one since, I believe, and that was 2009. So it's been 9. So it's been 9 years. Great. But now it's like I want to see these two fight and these two teams go at it, and they were going all out on this. Like, I really love Tyson Kidd producing Seth Rollins' matches. It's been so great to see him do all these high quality performances and looking like he's allowed to go all out, whereas in other producers they're told to restrict it as horribly as possible. But, like, the fact that this stole the show over Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, despite the cringing moment they did, that really should say something. And honestly, I just wanted McIntyre and Ziggler to win the match. Like, granted, Rollins and Ambrose being champions would have been great, but considering how the agenda was being pushed with the Roman Reigns agenda, I didn't want the Shield to have all the titles. Like, it would work if they were, I don't know, villains, you know, like Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, or Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Remember those? Whoever had all the gold, they were always heels. So, yeah, to imagine faces having it, it'd be weird for me. So, yeah. And sure enough, Drew McIntyre really was awesome in this. Everyone afterwards was like, can we put this guy in the main event slot? Which he's now going to get, however, it had to come at horrible cost. So, yeah. The fact that there were so many near falls here and we were getting back and forth from wrestling from these two teams, I was so hyped and so engrossed with it that I was not looking at my phone. Like, Orton and, like, not, and then like I said, I wanted these two to keep going. In fact, I would have loved if they had been given the entire show, because let's be honest, that really should say something. But surprisingly, Rollins, being the Intercontinental Champion, is the one who gets the pinfall loss, because I don't know. But Drew McIntyre is the reason the team won, because he does the Claymore kick while Rollins is about to go for the Falcon Arrow, and Ziggler covers Rollins for the pinfall to retain the tag team belts. And Drew McIntyre proves once again that he is the Scottish badass that he is by deciding to go ahead and basically, not kidding, grab the titles, carry Dolph Ziggler over his shoulder, and be all badass and smug about it. And I was like, because Drew McIntyre is an uber badass. And I'm thinking, okay, now I want to see him fight Pete Dunne. Let's see who can do more. The heavyweight Scottish psychopath or the bruiserweight with the finger-breaking fetish. Well, next to Marty Scurll and Randy Orton, but that's a different matter. But, yeah, this match was very entertaining. It was chaotic. It was so insane. I loved every moment of it. I loved the near falls. I wanted more. Luckily, we got more. However, it had to come around that touchy subject I don't want to talk about regarding Roman Reigns' leukemia announcement. But, yeah, it was so fascinating to see these two teams go at it, and now we're probably never going to get this match again because Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler look like they're on the verge of breaking up because, well, they lost the Raw Tag Team titles recently that I've already talked about in the previous video. Braun Strowman's no longer with the group, and he's turned face again because of what happened. And Dolph Ziggler kind of did something incredibly stupid, but I don't blame him. He blatantly had said in an interview that Vince McMahon favors the Attitude Era stars creatively. And I was like, well, he's fired, or at least punished to the extreme. Or he's trying to mimic Daniel Bryan, thinking he can get away with it because Daniel Bryan does all this I don't give a damn attitude, and so I can do it too, right? Yeah, Dolph, I don't want to be the one that says the obvious, but the reason why Bryan can get away with it is because he's Daniel Bryan, has such a large following, and if he gets let go, then all those fans are going to go follow him. Dolph, you don't have that luxury. Some people have gotten sick of you for some reason, I don't know why, but some fans have grown tired of you. So if you left, a lot of fans probably won't care. Like, I'm not saying all fans wouldn't care, just some fans. So when Dolph did that, I was like, well, either his push is ruined or he just doesn't care anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was the latter. So, yeah, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre of the Dogs of War, which I thought was a cool faction name, versus The Shield at Hell in a Cell 2018. These were my thoughts on that match. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more. And I'm still debating about covering Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns' Hell in a Cell match.